Water. Without water, we are nothing. It's alive. It's a living thing. For us anyway, it's a living thing. We have special water ceremonies. And one of our ceremonies is Sundance. When water's brought in, we sing to it and we talk to it to give us back that we're grateful that it's part of our lives, that it's part of the land, that without it, we would be dead. And we thank the Creator, of course, first of all. We thank the Creator for allowing water to be here. Without water, we are nothing.
This is a 10,000-year-old story about people and their connection to water and to life along this river, the North Saskatchewan. Born from a glacier in the Columbia icefields, turbocharged by the sub-watersheds that add momentum to its course, its northern fork is one of the great waterways of the North American continent. 300 kilometers from its source stands its largest and one of its oldest cities. All the river's a stage, and the slopes and curves that define the modern city of Edmonton have long been of consequence. From the 21st century, to the age of forts, to the end of the age of ice, the curves of this river valley have been nestling stories they've been waiting a long time to tell. Buried throughout the river valley in successive layers of history stretching back over 10,000 years, hundreds of preserved archaeological sites have been or are waiting to be excavated. Every new site yields fresh clues to some of our oldest stories. Because of large infrastructure projects around Edmonton's water treatment plants, there's also been a lot of controlled excavation on these sites. The discoveries have been significant because people have been camping on the flats of Edmonton's river valley across the map for over 10,000 years. And the water treatment plants are here on the floodplain for the same reason as those ancient campgrounds: access to the river and to water.
We always camped near water so we could keep clean, and some of it was for ceremonial, for sweats. Of course, cooking would be part of it, cleaning the meat and keeping everything clean. Well, we had a lot of respect for ceremonial too. You know, some people leave tobacco or something like that for the spirits in the river, to make sure they keep us safe, they don't harm us. Like, we believe that there's spirits in there that can grab you. That's why we leave an offering, tobacco, meat, or something to appease them.
What water is it gives life to everything. Gives life to us, to the animals, to the plants. We hold it sacred, the water. That's why I always take care of the life force of that liquid, the water itself. And all the animals that live in the water, like the otter, mink, and beaver, ducks, loon, all those different animals that live in there, they're considered real sacred. They're part of our life.
You know, everything on earth survives on water. And that is why we choose the rivers to make our camp. River is important in our make a living in our waste. Life-giving water. Our ancestors, they traveled all these mountains. Nature was our source back then. We had to follow the season, follow the animals, the birds, because it was survival. And we traveled in small clans. We didn't travel in big groups.
Before the Saskatchewan River comes, we're known as Tamnoza Lone River. So it's more of a spiritual name.
This whole area needed someone to steward it. So Creator created the Stoney through the elements and also the rocks. The Stoney person was given a role, a responsibility to steward this land, these mountains. All the water that flows out of the mountains, the loam is part of that. He's not just a beautiful bird, he's a medicine. He sits along this river. All summer long he's there. Loon always comes back here. As long as he's coming back, we know the river is still in good shape. So he's an indicator. So there's some spiritual connection, communication goes on.
The North Saskatchewan River was a main highway back then. You could travel both up and down that river. It wasn't a very strong river that it would prevent people from paddling up the river. 2 or 3 people could manage paddling up that river. Whereas some rivers are so powerful, so steep that you can't paddle up. And I guess that's why a lot of people lived along its banks.
We had watercraft. Different people had their versions of canoes or boats, whether it was a wood or a skin, right? That was waterproof. Every nation in the New World, in North and South America, had a version of a watercraft.
Although we didn't have canoes, we used what they called bull boats. And they would take a piece of rawhide and make a round frame, and then they would put the willows across the frame, and then they would tie the rawhide to that. They would simply get on there, and then the others would help the people get across.
There is a sacred kinship among our people, a belief that all things are connected. The universe, life, the land. It's impossible to separate that kinship when addressing, say, the land, or addressing sky people, addressing life, plants. All things are connected. From that understanding comes our worldview. In the middle is life that we're a small part of. We share it with the four-leggeds, the ones that fly, the ones that live in the water, lives in the land. And then there's the land, our connection to the land.
For us, water is life. We're related to it because a good percentage of our body is made up of water. So that's our relationship to water. It's in us.
The water content of the human being being so high, the plant is even higher. There's a 90% content of water in the plant. And you imagine how big those trees are, they still have real humongous amount of water in them. So you can see the amount of water Mother Nature is providing all of plant life. And it is plant life that keeps us alive. Mother Earth is feeding you in a roundabout way. It comes to your diet. Mother Earth's always feeding us.
The water treatment plants and the wastewater treatment plant are in the river valley because of the elevation. We collect the water from the river. It just by gravity flows in. And then we have pumps to pump it to the water treatment plant. And then it goes through the water treatment plant with hydraulics. The same thing at Gold Bar, collects all the wastewater. Everything kind of flows down in elevation to the river level. That's our lowest elevation point in the city. And then it can just discharge into the river with the treated wastewater. The first facility is the Eel Smith Water Treatment Plant. And That's on the west end of the city. And then downtown here is Rossdale Water Treatment Plant. And then downstream is the Gold Bar Wastewater Treatment Plant. I'm a Métis citizen, and my mom was half Métis and half Cree. And my mom shared a lot with me, and it was really enriching. So the love of just water, rivers and lakes and fishing and enjoyment, and having them there for the future. And I think that's why I gravitated towards water treatment as a career. Keeping the water safe, that's very important, and EPCOR always has an eye on being environmental, and I'm really proud to work here. And I talked to all the operators, and they're all very proud too, just to have the clean water of the quality that we produce, and to help the environment as well, to protect the environment. North Saskatchewan River, as it flows from upstream to downstream.
The most important thing for us is that we need to understand how things work in nature and how we could protect those things that needs protecting. Water itself. If you want to use that land or use that water, ensure that when you finish with it, when it runs out the other end, that it's clean.
I like the dialogue of learning about the city, the history, how Indigenous groups formed this place, the Lac St. Anne, all the Fort Edmonton, the Métis, the Siksika, the Blackfoot, the Cree, the Nakota, all of us, including even the white settlers at the time, we all came together to make this place. And you know, water is life, and water is an element and a spirit within itself for our people. We all have that connection to this place because of the water.